So what do you do if you are in an accident? Well, there are several things that you can do. One thing you can do is make note of any potential witnesses. Now, you may not be able to do this. If you're severely injured, you're going to be more focused on your injuries. But if you can, make note of the witnesses. Don't count on the fact that the police are going to do it for you. Many police officers are going to be very diligent and do a great job. But some may come to the scene, automatically make a determination of what caused it, and think they're not going to need any witnesses. But down the road, if you find yourself in the middle of a lawsuit to force an insurance company to take care of your injuries, those witnesses are going to be critical to you. So you want to make sure that you get their information. If you can't do it, you have a friend there, make sure that they get them for you. Next, if you can take some pictures, make sure that you do. A couple hours after the accident's happened, the debris is going to be cleared away, the vehicles are going to be gone, and the intersection or the roadway, the stretch of highway where it took place is going to look just like it did before the accident, and it's not going to be of any use. Now again, you may be injured to the point where you can't do that. But if you can, get some photographs. If you can't, and you have a friend who can, have them do it. I know some riders that carry the little disposable cameras just in case they are in an accident and they don't have a camera with them. But these days, most people have cameras on their cell phones, so that doesn't tend to be a problem. When you are taking pictures, you want to take pictures of the damage to the other vehicle, the damage to your vehicle, the position of the vehicles right after the accident, not after they were moved. That's not going to do much good. But if you can get a picture of where the vehicles were after the accident, that's helpful. Get a picture of the debris in the roadway. Get a picture of the entire accident scene. And when I say get a picture of the debris in the roadway, close-up shots of debris in the roadway aren't of much help. We need to see the relationship of that debris to the entire accident scene. So get as many wide shots as you possibly can. Now, that can help you, but what can hurt you? What shouldn't you do at the scene of an accident? Here's the first thing, and it's going to sound strange. Don't make a statement. Don't talk. Don't make a statement to the other party. Don't make a statement to any of the witnesses. And don't make a statement to the police. I know that sounds strange. Most people think they have to talk to the police. You don't. In this country, we have something called the Fifth Amendment. Everybody has the right to remain silent. Most people just lack the ability. I'm telling you that if you make a statement, you can be jeopardizing any cause of action that you have. By making a statement at the scene of an accident, you can either lessen the amount of your cause of action, or you can jeopardize it completely. If you're in an accident where you were injured, and later on you find that the insurance company or the insurance companies are not stepping up to the plate and taking care of their responsibility to cover you for your injuries, then you may be forced to go to court. Your statements are going to come back to you when you go to court. Why is that important? I just told them what happened. I wasn't at fault. Well, you may be. The scene of an accident is the worst place to make a statement for several reasons. One, the accident happened to you. You can't be objective about it. You're emotional. You're angry. You're in pain. You want to see the other person that hurt you suffer. You're not thinking clearly. Take a moment. Step back. Tell the officer, officer, I'm really not feeling good. I'm hurt. I want to go seek medical attention. I'll be glad to make a statement later. The reason to do that is that your statements may affect you in one of two ways. One, it may lessen the amount of your claim. Most states have what's called comparative negligence. What that means is if there's an accident and a jury determines that both sides are at fault and one side's just a little bit at fault and the other side's more at fault, then while you can still recover, you recover less. So let's say the true value of your claim is $100,000, but a jury determines that you were 10% at fault, then you only get to collect $90,000. If they determine you were 20% at fault, then you would only get to collect $80,000. So if you're speaking to the officer and he's asking you what happened, and you said that person just took a left turn in front of me and I had nowhere to go, and the officer goes, well, how fast were you traveling? And you say 45 miles an hour, and it's a 35-mile-an-hour zone, then you may have just lessened the amount that you'll get to recover. You may think that it's a 45-mile-an-hour zone, and you were wrong. You may lessen the amount that you get to recover. We often hear, well, I laid the bike down to avoid the accident. Insurance companies will come back and argue that the reason you're hurt is because you purposely put yourself down on the ground. Don't say anything. Now, there are a few states that have what's called contributory negligence. Maryland, D.C., Virginia, North Carolina, and Alabama all have what's called contributory negligence. Take that same situation where you told the officer you were going 45 and it's really a 35-mile-an-hour zone. Guess what may have just happened to your claim? Not reduce it. You may have just lost it. In contributory negligence states, if they find that you were at all at fault and that helped contribute to your injuries, then under the law, you collect nothing. Let me give you a personal example, something that happened to me. I was in my car. I wasn't in a motorcycle. I'm riding down the road. There's a green light. Green ball. Not a green arrow, green ball. I take a left turn. I get hit in my right passenger door by a Suburban doing 45 miles an hour. Airbag deployment and everything. What just happened? Who was at fault in that accident? Me. If I took a left turn and I had a green ball, then the person who was coming in the opposite direction also had a green ball. I felt terrible. I felt like an idiot. I mean, here I am. I preach about people paying attention every day, and I just turned in the path of somebody else. I jumped out, I checked on that person, I opened the door and I said, are you okay? She immediately looks at me and says, I had the right of way. I'm thinking to myself, yes, I think you did. So we're waiting for the police. 3 police officers show up. And they get us together and they ask us if we want to make any statements. And let me tell you, the hardest thing to do is to take your own advice. But in that situation, I did. I didn't make any statements. I said, you know, I'm really not feeling good. I'd like to go get checked out. I'll be glad to make a statement another time. Before I left, a woman came up to me and said, here's my phone number. Make sure you give it to the police. I'm thinking to myself, it's another witness against me. I take the phone number, I put it in my pocket. I go get checked out at the doctor. The next day, I called this woman. I explained who I was, and I asked her why did she give me that phone number. She said, I want to make sure that you didn't get ticketed for that accident. I thought to myself, you have my attention, ma'am. Please continue. She explained to me that she was on the same side of that intersection as the woman that hit me. Now, keep in mind, this is a very, very large intersection. And she said, as I was starting to enter the intersection, the light went yellow. She told me I had plenty of time. All the other vehicles were slowing down to a stop. And as I was going into the intersection, she hears an engine revving. And here comes that Suburban trying to beat the light. She said, as the woman in the Suburban crossed into the intersection, the light went red, I was in the middle of it, and I had nowhere to go. That woman is on my Christmas card list every year now. Because with that information, I was able to go to my insurance company, give them a witness, and her insurance company ended up accepting liability in the accident. What would have happened if I had made a statement? I would have been the one at fault. And my insurance company would have ended up paying for her damage. As it stood, she was found to be at fault. The other thing that would have happened if I'd made a statement is I would have been wrong. I would have been wrong because I didn't see everything from an objective point of view. I just saw it from my own point of view. Don't make a statement. Take the time, go get checked out, and reflect on what happened. The other thing I would tell you to do is give us a call. I'm not saying you have to hire us, but give us a call. We have people do that all the time. Give us a call and we'll be glad to talk to you about what happened, let you go through the situation, and let you know whether or not you need representation. If you don't, we'll be glad to talk to you about what you should do, but if you do need representation, we'll be there for that as well. So to recap, if you find yourself in an accident, make sure to get the names, addresses, and phone numbers of any potential witnesses. If you can't do it yourself, have a friend do it. Make sure to get photographs. If you can't do that, get a friend to do it. And don't make any statements. Not to the other person, not to any witnesses, and not to the police. Go get checked out at the hospital. You can give a statement later. And lastly, give us a call. You may not need to hire us, but give us a call. It's better to call and not need us than need us and not call in the first place. Hopefully, you won't need to do this. But if you do, we'll be there to help you.
The Motorcycle Law Group.